How's it going, y'all? Today we're going to be discussing headlight and taillight restoration. You ever look back at your car and thought, wow, my headlights sure look faded and cloudy? Or maybe even looked at the taillights and thought, man, these are kind of yellowing and just not looking so great. Well, when your car is exposed to the elements over time, especially older cars, the lenses, the plastics, they all start to fade and show their age, as you will. Luckily, there's some nice products on the market today that you could use to restore them to an original finish, and they do a great job with a little bit of time and elbow grease. So let's get into it. How's it going, y'all? Today we're going to be doing a headlight restoration on my BMW 7 Series here. As you can see, I've started a little bit of the prep work. It's just to protect the areas when we're using the kit. Today we are going to be using the 3M headlight restoration kit here. I've used it on my other cars, previous BMWs, and it works really well. And you'll see my secret concoction is back out again. But anyway, if you take a look at the headlights here, you can see that they are kind of cloudy, not terrible, and they don't look all that bad, but there's a big difference once you apply this kit. And as you can see, the corner marker, because it's brand new, is very clean, whereas these look a little bit hazy. Alright, so let's get started. Alright guys, so we start the process here by cleaning the lens with soap and water. I'm just using my secret concoction here just to take off any loose dirt and rocks and any debris that I don't want to use the drill to further scratch up or worsen the appearance of these headlights. And it's really important that you have good prep in place, especially before you get started, so you don't mar up any of the surrounding areas that have the body color paint on it. And then basically you're starting with the P500 gold disc. This is an abrasive disc that's going to kind of go ahead and take off that yellowing and just faded look that you see from a few feet away or up close for that matter. And you'll notice that you're going to have to kind of really control your movements here. You don't want to get too erratic. You want to try to make sure you're following the contour of the lenses. Left to right is kind of a good direction to go with. And really slow and steady is what you want to keep in mind. Wipe frequently along the way. That's going to really enhance how well your finished product's going to look like. And you might need to make a couple of passes. Just keep that in mind. Once you've gotten the lenses to a point where they look evenly cloudy, if that makes sense, then it's going to be time to switch over to the next pad that they give you in the series, which is basically the P800 white disc, and I'll show you that here a little bit later in the video. But it's part of the kit, and this one's meant to really take off any defined scratches and just continue on with removing the defects that your headlights have right now over time with exposure to all the elements, right? And then that's going to give you another chance to look at how bad the yellowing and the hazing and everything is, and it'll give you a kind of good measure as to how long you need to do this, how many passes you should make. Use your judgment, but again, slow and steady is going to really give you the results you're looking for. Follow the contour of your lenses and definitely just take your time. That's going to be the big key here. Cleaning frequently is going to really give you a chance at, okay, well, maybe I need to slow up in this area a little bit, or there's a little bit more pitting on this side than I'd like. Let me give that another hit. And that's going to give you a chance to really control the outcome here. So start with that cleaning of the lens, move into the P500 disc, the gold disc, now that P800 white disc. Again, these are part of the 3M kit that you have here. And a cordless drill like this works really well. It gives you control. Make sure your batteries are charged. My battery did die after I finished the first lens, and so I had to pause all this and get it charged up before I moved on to the second headlight. But that's part of the process. That's going to happen. And again, clean frequently. I can't stress that. If you've prepped well, nothing's worse than not cleaning your work and finding out you have a whole bunch of excess marks or unwanted scuffs and whatnot. So it's going to be important that you take the time to clean, rinse, repeat, and take your time. That's going to be the biggest thing I can tell you here. All right, so yeah, we're getting closer to a step now where basically we're going to move into using a Trizac disc, which is a gray disc that's part of the kit. And as you start using this along the contour of your lenses, you start seeing this white slurry kind of like show up. It just looks like foam. In my case, I have the secret concoction that has a little bit of soap in it, so it's getting a little bit more foamy looking. But this is a good sign because this is taking away all the sanding you've done now and really starting to expose that true clarity of your work. So this is always very satisfying to see. I love kind of cleaning this up after the fact and seeing what we got in front of us, and you can kind of see that it's just getting cleaner and cleaner. Now, after you've applied the Trizac disc and you've gone through getting as much of the haze off, you're going to start applying the compound that's included. A little goes a long way. That's always the right saying here. You don't need to smear on a lot of this stuff. You'll find maybe after putting it on once, you're just going to be tempted to do it maybe 1 or 2 more times. And feel free, obviously, use your judgment and make sure you're not getting it all over the place. It does splatter a bit. Clean after every pass just so you can see exactly what you're doing. And it really gives you a good feeling of good work when you kind of step back and just see that really clean lens. So you'll see here I go through just probably 1 more pass, and that's just to make sure that I haven't missed any corner of this lens, but it's a really satisfying feeling. You just kind of see this stuff rub on. It's just like waxing a car. In fact, it's very similar to car wax. You're doing the stage of applying it now, and then you're basically buffing off the chemicals and the products, so that way you don't leave any residue behind. And then you'll start seeing it. You don't want to really put this on too light and risk running it dry. Not too heavy so you don't smear it everywhere and splatter it. But once you do that final wipe, you're going to look back and just see, and you're going to be like really impressed with your work because you can see how clean and clear your lenses look after some good elbow grease. Alright guys, I'll spare you the details of getting the other side done. Let's get through this side pretty quickly here, and then we'll move on to the taillights. Alright guys, so just like the headlights, I made sure to prep the taillights. I masked off the areas I didn't want to touch. I really wanted to focus on the turn signal and the reverse light area. As you can see, those are pretty faded. So yeah, it's really important that you guys make sure to prep the area you're going to work on. Blue tape works really good. Masking tape is just fine. Make sure you do that. In my case, I didn't tape off the bottom section as much because, as you can see, those are crystal clear. So yeah, make sure to take the time to prep. Alright guys, so a little better than it was before. Still some yellowing and the taillights are really old, so still a little bit of fogging and whatnot, but it looks like a noticeable improvement. Let me pan around and see if I can show you both of them. Alright. So again, it's really hard to capture the difference on camera. But yeah, I mean, here you can see much more cleaner. You know, still a little bit of a fogging and kind of faded look, but I think it's a bit of an improvement. This tail out came out a lot better. You know, again, the right turn signal side still has a little bit of fading. And then if I kind of push against some of the stuff here, it looks like it's moving, and it's really just like condensation. So overall, vast improvement. I really like this product. It's done really well for my cars in the past, and I'm glad that I'm able to use it on this car and make a little bit of improvement here as well. So overall, these are the pads I went through. All of these sort of gold disc pads were the first step. So I took 2 each for the headlights, 2 each for the headlights, 1 each for the tail light turn signal area, 2 of the P800s on the headlights, and then 2, you know, on the tail lights as well. And then there's some compound. I love this one, the Trizact pad. You just wet it, and it creates a slurry when you go against the lens, and a few passes of that and you can see the faded, just nasty old plastic or glass kind of come back to life. So overall recommend. Stuff is pretty good to you know, get your stuff looking a little bit newer again. I know there are some wipe on, wipe off kits out there. I've yet to try those. But I just love the kind of feeling of getting this done, and, you know, more or less that feeling of something being renewed. You know what I mean? But anyway, hope you guys got something out of this. If you like what you see here, please subscribe, like, and comment. Every month and every other month sometimes, we're doing giveaways, free giveaways, and there's going to be a possible raffle in the future. So anyway, stay tuned, y'all.